Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video we're going to talk start collecting Warhammer 40,000, and today we're going to take a look at the Black Templars and in particular their Combat Patrol box set. In this video we're going to take a look at the contents of this particular box set, talk about the models, how we can build them, the options we have for the different kits, and indeed briefly what they do on the tabletop as well, before taking a look at some other units we can use to expand upon this initial box set. We'll then finally finish off the video with a little sample army list of 1,000 points for you to use, hopefully as some inspiration for starting your own Black Templars force for the Space Marines in Warhammer 40,000 10th edition. And so, to start with, first of all, we have the Marshal. This is sort of a Black Templar special character you can have. He's sort of the equivalent to a captain from a regular Space Marine chapter. You've got a few different options on the model here where you can take either your plasma pistol or the combi weapon as his two sort of main gun options, and then you've got his mastercrafted power sword as well. His abilities are going to be right to battle, where once per battle round you can use a stratagem on him for 0 CP, even if you've already used that stratagem on another unit during that phase. And finest hour, once per battle at the start of the fight phase, this model can use his ability, and if he does so until the end of the phase, you add 3 to his attacks and give him devastating wounds to his melee weapons as well. Now, leader-wise, you can lead a bunch of different Primaris units, the Assault Intercessors, Infernus Intercessors, the Crusader Squad, as well as Primaris Sword Brethren and Sternguard Veteran Squads as well. Joining him, we have a Primaris Crusader Squad. You get 10 models inside this unit. One will be a Sword Brother, and you'll have 4 Initiates and 6 Neophytes in there. The Initiates are the sort of scout-like warriors they fight alongside. And effectively how the Black Templars work is they see themselves as knights, and they've got sort of these squires underneath each of them. So that's why you've got the scout sort of working alongside the Primaris Marine Neophyte as well. And then you've got sort of a higher ranking Primaris Marine in the Sword Brother in the squad as well. Now, the Sword Brother themselves can have a Pie Pistol or Heavy Bolt Pistol as the main 2 weapons for there. You can also have on your Neophytes the option for a Power Fist or a Pyre Blaster, which is essentially a Primaris Marine Flamer. We've seen a ton of them come out in the brand new box set. But you can also have an option for either bolt guns or close combat weapons, as the Chainsword and Bolt Pistols there for the unit as well. Now, they do have a couple of special rules, so the abilities for them really is Righteous Zeal, where they can just re-roll advance and charge rolls, which is really nice. And they've also got Scouts 6-inch as well, so you're getting some additional movement right at the start of the game. We then have 5 Intercessors in here. Intercessors are our standard sort of Primaris Space Marines. You've got the option for an Astartes Grenade Launcher for 1 in every 5 models, and you can take a Power Sword and Plasma Pistol and a couple of other little bits on the Intercessor Sergeant as well. Now lastly, we have the Impulsor. This is a Space Marine Primaris transport, and it's a Black Templar Impulsor in here. Thanks to the upgrade sprue you'll get in here, you can upgrade it in various different ways that make it special for a Black Templar, and none is more special for the Black Templars than being able to have its pintle-mounted weapon be a multi-melter rather than the Iron Hail Heavy Stubber. So you can definitely get a little bit of anti-armor in this. You can also go with all the normal upgrades that you can take with this tank as well, from your Frag Storm Grenade Launchers replacing the Storm Bolters. You've got the Bellicatus Missile Array, Iron Hail Scalar Talent Array, Orbital Comms Array, or the Shield Dome, which is my personal favourite for it as well. It can transport 6 models, so it's great for your Marshal and the Intercessors, or indeed some of the other units we're going to talk about over on the next slide. Today's video is brought to you by Gap Games, a fantastic retailer in Australia for a variety of different miniature war games. If you'd like to help support the channel, we have an affiliate link where by clicking on and purchasing, you'll help support the channel, but you'll also help support Gap Games, which is a fantastic servant to the community. And so, looking at where to go next for the Black Templars, and the first thing I want to look at is another character to bring into the force, and none is more important to the Black Templars than the Emperor's Champion. This is a warrior at the start of a crusade or a battle that is given visions by the Emperor and dons the mantle of the Emperor's Champion, taking up the black sword and the black armor to wield in the Emperor's name, seeking a glorious vision and to lead the Black Templars to victory through his righteous zeal. Now, the Emperor's Champion can't take any additional upgrades, it can't even take any additional enhancements. It's sort of a pseudo-named character for the Black Templars. You do have some cool abilities, so Skillful Parry, where once per phase, a melee attack that targets this model can be just taken down to damage 0, and Sigismund's Heir, each time this model makes a melee attack that targets a character, you can add 1 to the wound rolls. This is really nice when you consider you've either got the black sword, which can go strike or sweep if you want, so your strike profile is going to be 6 attacks at 2+, strength 8 minus 3 AP, damage 3 with the precision rule. Remember, you can get, really easily get down to that 2+ to wound as well with that. Or the sweep, drops the damage to AP, but does go up to a nice 10 attacks on the model as well. Now, joining the Black Templar in our Black Templar specific units, we have the Primaris Sword Brethren. These are really interesting units, sort of like a mix of Sternguard and Vanguard veterans, able to take a couple of different special weapons in the form of pistols and some power weapons on the unit as well. They're going to be a nice solid unit, so they've got abilities where they have the Vow-Sworn Bladesman. At the start of the fight phase, you can select one of the following effects to apply to the melee weapons, which can either be +1 attack or +1 damage. So a nice variety of abilities there, going in harder if they need to against more elite, or being able to get extra attacks versus a horde. And then the last 2 units I want to look at are the different Dreadnoughts here. The first of these is Brutalis Dreadnought, which I think just exemplifies Black Templars perfectly with the ability to go all in on that combat. Brutalis Dreadnought has 2 main melee weapons. You've got the Brutalis Fist, which do have built-in Stormbolters on them, or you can go the Brutalis Talons, which do have a strike and sweep profile, very similar to the Emperor's Champion. More attacks, less damage, or, a less attacks but higher damage, so great for going into tougher enemies. Now, while this is a combat dreadnought, it definitely does still put out a decent amount of shooting, with twin-linked multi-melters on its hull, and it's also got on its back as well another gun that's going to be the twin Icarus Iron Hail Heavy Stubber to give you some anti-fly and a rapid-fire 3-shot weapon, which is pretty nice. Now, you could also go with the other style of Dreadnought, the Redemptor, definitely putting a bit more shooting on the model with the option for its plasma cannon and indeed its missile pod on the back, as well as the storm bolters on its hull and a flamer or onslaught Gatling cannon underneath its fist. This model is, a bit more well-rounded, but it's still another great job and a great shout, especially if you've picked up like some Black Templar boxes that are maybe on the cheap, like the Black Templars launch box. You would get one in that particular box set, so if you've got that here, you could certainly replace that instead of the Brutalis Dreadnought. And so here we have our sample army list for the Space Marines of the Black Templars. Now we're using the Detachment Righteous Crusaders, which is actually one of 2 the Black Templars have access to. They can use the regular Space Marine detachment if they want, but Righteous Crusaders is our own special one. So character-wise, we have our Marshal, who's going to be our Warlord. We've gone for Plasma Pistol and the Mastercraft Power Weapon, and we've also got the Emperor's Champion joining him as our 2 characters for the Force. Battle line-wise, we have the Primaris Crusader Squad in there with the Pyre Pistol and Power Weapon on the Sword Brother. We then have the Power Fist and Pyre Blaster on the 2 Initiates, and another 3 Initiates in there with heavy bolt pistols and chainswords. We then have the 4 Neophytes with stylish chainswords and bolt pistols as well. Our Intercessor Squad we have fleshed out to a full 10 models, who will be the other sort of unit we take. This has given us a Plasma Pistol and Power Weapon on the Sergeant, 2 stylish grenade launchers for a little bit of extra versatility in the unit. And then other infantry, we've got our Primaris Sword Brethren in there with the Castellan with Combi Weapon and Mastercrafted Power Weapon. We then have Pyre Pistols and Plasma Pistols on everything with power weapons, and then we've got the Thunder Hammer as well in the unit. Dedicated transports, we have our Impulsor. This is going to transport around our Primaris Sword Brethren, and whichever character we generally send with them, probably the Emperor's Champion, to try and get them up nice and close and get some fighting done. We've got a Multi-Melter, Fragstorm, Grenade Launchers, and Shield Dome on it. And then lastly, we have the Brutalis Dreadnought with Twin Multi-Melter and the Brutalis Talons going in hard on that combat, allowing this to be a nice destructive monster on the tabletop. This brings us to 995 points out of 1,000. Pretty solid for the Black Templars here. Some vehicles on the table, decent combat, and even a nice little bit of shooting and anti-tank in there, here and there, with some of the bits and pieces we can take. But if you've got an idea for Black Templars and how you'd like to play them in Warhammer 40k 10th edition, and indeed how you would expand upon the initial combat patrol, let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And so that is the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to come chat more with me, we have a Discord server for the channel, and that is linked down in the video's description. Also linked down in the video's description are the best ways to help support the channel. This is either via Patreon or YouTube members using one of our affiliate links and codes down there, like Baron of Dice, Gap Games, or Mithras Games, or by supporting us directly on Patreon or YouTube members. If you'd like to do any of those, we have links for that all in the description. And as a special thank you to our Patrons and YouTube members, we'd like to give them all a shout out. So thank you to our Patreons: Soren, Kenny Lowell, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Q Dynamic, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Benjamin Swallows, Red Martin, Iron Grinch, Colorblind Magic, Grimscold, and Andy C. And our YouTube members: Greenridge Gaming, Ronya, Lock Lorick, The Johnny84, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, James Tillman, Disco, and John Castle. Lastly, a special thanks to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork you see on the channel. Once again, everyone, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.